it is a fantastic day. This project has been a long time coming and long time needed here in Brazoria County. I want to recognize our internal team that has been working on this project. Of course, myself, Commissioner Adams, Matt Hanks, our county engineer, Clay Forrester, Assistant County Engineer, Maintenance Director Billy Lassiter, Gerald Hendrick, and Casey Stewart, our county auditor. And our external team that's going to be putting this thing together. AGCM, we've got folks here from AGCM. Thank you. Our architects, led by Burdett, and also Brinkley, Sargent, and Wigginton. We've got folks from here as well. And of course, as you can see behind me in the big red and gold spa glass. We couldn't have a better team. And again, as I said, this is a project a long time coming. You know, we've got over here our museum, our courthouse that was built in the 1890s. Right behind us to the left, our 1940s courthouse. Attached to it, our 1976 edition. If you can't tell the difference, I'll make you an eye appointment. On the other side of that, we have our West Annex. And we're going to be completely changing the way things look here. When you come back and look at things when we're complete in 3.5 to 4 years, it's going to be a great change. You've already seen our new parking lots that we have constructed. Some key facts about the new facilities that we're building. Tax office, county clerk records, veteran services, all will be located in the same building on the first floor of the administration building that's going to be built behind me, including 2-lane tax office drive-through. The goal is to make our service department interaction for the public easy in, easy out. The second floor will be easily accessible by escalator, grand staircase, and elevators. The second floor will be host to a standalone jury and paneling room, commissioner's court, law library, and cafe. The 1976 edition will be completely renovated, including new exterior cladding, replacing the old brick. Over here at our Justice Center, we will have 9 district courtrooms, 5 county court at laws, plus our ceremonial courtroom. We'll have a better consolidation of our departments, both within the existing campus plan, plus some departments coming home. Our county clerk's records division being the most notable of those. Space sufficient to capture departmental growth for the next 3 decades. A unique mail and loading utility area. Employee-only restrooms and elevator stairs in the new buildings, and I know our employees will appreciate that. Multiple conference rooms, employee break areas, and right here where we're at, Shenango Street, will be converted to elected official parking. We'll have a multi-entrance sally port and a large detainment facility for criminal defendants. The new admin building, which will be behind me, will be 140,000 plus square feet. Our Justice Center expansion, 81,000 square feet of new space. 65,000 square feet in our 1976 edition will be renovated. A new EOC back behind the flower shop over here, 15,500 square feet. And we're going to hear a little bit from Senator Huffman and Chief Kidd about that. Just a dozen years ago, we had no EOC in Brazoria County. We worked out of Commissioner's courtroom. Just in the last 7 years, between a freeze event, 5 floods, a pandemic, and a couple of months ago, our first hurricane in a while, we need that EOC space. It's especially nice that Senator Huffman is helping us pay for a lot of it. Our West Annex building across from the courthouse on the west side, 46,000 square feet to be renovated. And then also a light touch renovation to the 54,000 square feet in our 1940s courthouse. So we're looking at 236,727 square feet of new space and 165,000 square feet of renovated space to better deliver services to our citizens. And now our first speaker, my good friend, State Senator Joan Huffman. She helped us allocate a $5 million grant for that new EOC. It's based on a short phone conversation she and I had. And we'll let her speak. Senator?
Sort of bittersweet, right? Because we love Brazoria County and we love the look that it has, but as we grow as a state and as a county and move into the future, we do need to be able to meet the needs of our citizens, our constituents, and be able to offer them the services in the surroundings that they deserve. So it's great, and what vision, and such great county leadership down here, and I'm happy to just play a very small role in this. And really it came about the extra money for the Emergency Operations Center. As you know, I've been down here so many times for there's a flood or a hurricane. It seems like it's always something, right? We kind of meet in a little cramped room with TVs around and so forth. And I've worked, of course, with Nim Kidd, who'll speak to you shortly. Brazoria County is so where you're located with the Brazos and so forth, you have the flooding. So it really affects a lot of my district because, I represent parts of Fort Bend and Harris and now further out west too to Jackson and Matagorda and Wharton County. And so Brazoria County is very centralized and you have such leadership here that I think it's wonderful that you're going to have this Emergency Operations Center. So I'm pleased that the state was able to make a $5 million investment. I'm pleased that I was in a position where I could make sure the screws got turned in the right direction to get that done. And I will continue to work with you and for you to meet the needs of this fabulous, wonderful county that I'm so, so blessed to help represent. Thank you.
Have Senator Huffman represent part of Brazoria County. I heard from her more than anyone else in Austin this last session. On a weekly basis, I hear from her personally or her chief of staff. Any bill that comes forward that's going to affect Brazoria County, she is the first one to reach out and touch base with me on what is this going to do to counties? How can we make it better? And I value that more than anything of her working with us here at Brazoria County, and just we're blessed to have her. So Joan, thank you. Our next speaker is a good friend of mine. We've worked together for the last number of years. As whatever has hit the fan in Brazoria County, he is the first one to call, and we can talk specifically about what has hit the fan. And he's not going to quote me from any of those conversations we've had, but he is a fantastic friend for the county, always has been and always will be, Chief Nim Kidd.
Thank you, Judge. If I were to quote some of those conversations, it would be one long. This is where it began, right?
Yes, sir.
This is where Texas began. And
Yep.
so I want to point that out. I'll come back to that in just a minute. I want to thank Senator Huffman, Representative Rasout. Thank you every day for the work that you do for emergency management, not just for Brazoria County, but for all across the state, especially the Division of Emergency Management. The leadership and support that you give us allows us to support our local officials. Thank you. The great thing about living in Texas is, number one, we have more major disasters than every other state in the nation. Congratulations. That's not a joke, it's fact. It's fact. You go back and look at the FEMA statistics since 1953, when they keep record of every presidential disaster declaration, Texas has more than every other state. Now that sounds impressive, But when you realize the threshold that has to be achieved in order to get a declaration by state, it's not fair. It's not equal. It's all based on population. And since we're the second most populous state in the nation, we have the second highest threshold to exceed in order to be eligible to receive a disaster from the president. If you look at New Mexico, their threshold is $3.5 million. Oklahoma's is 5.5, Arkansas's is 4.5, Louisiana's is 7.5. And with the last census change and the change in FEMA, ours is going to be just under 50 million. So you add all those other states together, double them, and Texas still has a higher bar to show in damages before the president can grant a declaration, and we still have more than every other state in the nation. Congratulations. I'm going to take a quick minute to thank some of our team that's here. I know Mike Jones back there, the district coordinator. Mike, raise your hand. Carmen Apple, the response team. And Joe, I could not thank you enough for the partnership of your emergency manager, Stephen Rosa, and everything that he does to support us. Before COVID, we had an emergency management conference every year in San Antonio. We're going to get back to it next year. But you two bring more people to that conference and represent better than every other county in Texas. So thank you for your deep dedication to what we do. Facilities matter. It'd be hard to hold county government without a courthouse. Hard to make people well without a hospital. Hard to keep people in line without a jail. It's hard to run emergency management without a dedicated emergency operations center. I got to tell you, out of 254 counties, I asked our team to count it up today, how many there really are. My bet is there are less than 25 real, purpose-built, dedicated emergency operations centers in the state of Texas. So thank you for the work that you're doing. I hope from here, more begins. I hope we keep setting the example like you do for us every day, Judge, and the leadership that you demonstrate as the emergency management director for this community. So thanks for your friendship, thanks for your partnership, and God bless Texas.
Thank you, Chief, and I hope we're not talking that much over the next few years. All right. And he did mention, and I was remiss in not mentioning my emergency management team. Steve Rosa, my emergency management coordinator. Where's Steve at? Steve's over here. His Chief Deputy, Mark Fowler. And Charlie Davis. And Charlie back over there, all right. Another longtime friend from Spa Glass, someone I've known for almost 50 years. We grew up together here. We went to elementary school together, went to high school together, went to A&M together. And he is now working here, leading this project here, and that is Mr. Roger Berry with Spa Glass.
No, Judge, my wife gave me some advice this morning, and she said you need to use the KISS principle in your speech today. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, keep it short. And then there was a long pause, and she said, sweetie. And Judge, what a relief, because she could have went a lot of directions with that last yes. It's an honor today to represent Spa Glass in such a great day for Missouri County. It's also very special to me, as Matt mentioned. I grew up in Angleton. I've lived in Missouri County for over 50 years. It's really neat to be able to come back home and build a project in my own hometown. We also have a great construction team on site. And I'd like for them to raise their hand and gain some recognition. They're surrounded around the crowd. And they've worked together over the past year to really put a plan together. And we appreciate all of their hard work and efforts. And taking on the responsibility of building a safe project and also a project of very high quality. Our company and team are prepared to take on this commitment, and I appreciate the vision of our county judge, our county commissioners, the county staff, and also the design team to really have the forethought of the plan and the design and the direction it takes to get this project going. Our job moving forward is to provide the absolute best construction experience for Brazoria County, and we're going to do that. In closing, just in a few minutes, the county judge and county commissioners are going to turn a shovel full of dirt. That's really to commemorate the start of construction. And I was talking to one of our superintendents, and he says, you know, that's really on-the-job training. So, first concrete pour is Monday morning, and he hopes that you guys all show up with a brand new shiny shovel. So, thank you.
Roger, you know as well as I do, you never schedule a concrete pour on Monday morning. All right, we're looking forward, and as we get to where we are turning dirt, it's not only what we're starting is the project here, but also the EOC. They will both be starting and running simultaneously. All right, our next speaker is Shane Howard from Burdick Consultants, representing the design team and the architects.
Thank you, Judge. Want to point out, we've got some of our team here today, but quite frankly, we've got a deadline today and tomorrow, and a lot of the team, they're back in the offices working on everything. But I do want to point out the folks that are with us today. Charlie Goodman with BSW. BSW is our architectural partner in this, and they are the ones taking care of the 76 building, the Justice Center expansion, the 40s Courthouse, the EOC, and the West Annex. And then Jordy Matas and Anna Duran are with us today from the Burdick design team, who are responsible for the new administration building. And so they've done an extraordinary job, and the dozens of people behind all of that, and many of them are working at this very moment, have done an extraordinary job. Judge, Commissioners Court, thank you for the trust you placed in us and in our team to deliver this for you. We know it's a very personal project. This is the sort of thing that's very generational. You make these decisions that are hard, you're using other people's money, and we've tried to instill that in everything that we've done. And we can assure the public that from a design perspective, all the way through this, everything from the judge, court, department heads, there's been transparency, there's been no ego. This is not a battle between form and function. It's a matter of a practical but beautiful building that's going to last you decades and make it possible for you to expand your departments. And you've already expanded and made the best use of your spaces, but this is going to take it to a level where you can have responsible expansion. You can actually recruit people and them not be crammed into closets, as often happens in a few different places. None of this would be possible without the teammates that we have, both internally but also with AGCM. Paul and Bob, wherever you guys are, thank you for your partnership on this. And then Clay Forrester and Gerald Hendrick with the county. The six of us, and plus our teams, have spent hundreds of hours over the last nearly 2 years at this stage. And it's easy to get a little bit tired of each other, as somebody put it earlier. You know, you look back at this in a big picture and the trends look good, like the stock market. We sometimes get really zoomed in on the day-to-day, and we get to feel every single little bump that comes along the way, and it sometimes hurts a little bit. But it's been a team. It's been representative of the commitment that you started, that you did, Commissioner Adams, and that court has followed with. And that has been shown through every department head and through your project team, and we appreciate it. We thoroughly enjoy this project. And that's not always the case. We like the work, but we like to enjoy our work as well. Everybody's passionate about it, so thank you. And Senator Huffman, good to see you again. One little point, I was actually the first party chairman to endorse Senator Huffman back when she first ran. So it's good to see you again. We really appreciate everything you do for the state. And, thank you very much.
Thank you, Shane. And I also just want to recognize Paul and Bob with AGCM. I know we've got Seth Thompson back here and Marty Schmidt with AGCM. They're our project manager on this. They have been with us, gosh, Seth, 2 years? 2 years. We've had them on board and working well with our design team, working with Small Glass to make everything come together. And I really want to thank AGCM, especially Jill and Paul and Small Glass, and that's Kelly Fox, for coordinating this groundbreaking event, putting the tent, the cups, the cookies, the refreshments, putting all of that together. And that is, I didn't do it.
That won't happen.
Yeah, thank you. Better not. So this is going to be a great project. To my county employees here and the folks that are here, let's all be patient for the next 3.5, 4 years. Let's please be patient. There are going to be times when we're just going to be looking for a parking spot. We're going to see a door is all of a sudden shut off. I told a couple of judges earlier today, hey, you're losing your parking spots. But I got good parking spots to make up for it. Because this is going to be an evolving, dynamic campus over the next 3.5 to 4 years. So public, employees, let's be patient. We're going to have some growing pains. But once we get finished with this project, it's all going to be worth it. So with that being said, I want to thank all of y'all for being here. And I want to invite the court, Senator Huffman, Chief Kidd, Roger, Shane, and Marty to come forward so we can turn some dirt.
This is an ELC for sure. Oh, yeah. We got another one over here.
I'm not wearing steel-toe shoes.
Yeah, I got the outside for you. Hey, who are we throwing it at?
Don't throw it at anybody, please.
All right. Everybody look at Sharon and smile.
Where's Sharon?
She's right here.
1, 3, 1, 2, 3. One more.
All right, everybody dig up some dirt.
Got it.
We done? All right.